Hi Will, thanks for joining us on the first of our interviews with music scholars.
No problem. Good to be here.
Good. So talk to me about your musical journey at BSAC over the past 5 years, both as an instrumentalist but also as an academic musician.
Well, even before day one, I came here on a visit when it was a prospect that I'd be coming to BSAC, and the first thing I noticed was a concert going on in the auditorium where Mr. De Silva, remember Alex High, was performing guitar, and I thought, wow, because that was a really inspirational standard, and I thought if this department can get me there, then that's brilliant, and I think it has over the years. I think the combination of opportunities and facilities and different teaching that's been offered has really helped me progress as an instrumentalist. And in terms of academic, GCSE and A-level, both massively fun experiences, and I think the main thing from them is that they've shifted my perspective of music theory from being something on paper to something I hear audibly.
Okay, brilliant. You've been to Wymorg, the Young Musician of the Golf Competition, 5 times. You've won 6 trophies, which we think is probably a record. Tell us what you've gained from taking part in that competition.
Every single year, that is the thing I have looked forward to the most. The team spirit that all the musicians have, which is what it's really about, especially in the ensembles. You know, music sounds better, music's played better with other people. Being able to create it in an ensemble or perform it for your peers and for judges in, yes, a competition setting, but they do their best to make it feel more like a concert where you're just showing off your musicianship. It's a valuable experience for progressing, and I think it's an environment that I've thrived in over the years.
Absolutely. So as well as the guitar, the piano, the violin, which we traditionally associate you with, you also play the oud amongst other instruments.
Yeah.
What made you take up the oud, and how has it been beneficial to you as a musician?
At the time I took up the oud, I thought, whatever it would be, it was time for a new challenge either way. But having just moved to the UAE, it felt really appropriate to take up something that was so well integrated into the local culture, and above all, it sounds great as an instrument. The variety of sounds, the fact that the microtonality aspect of it produces a different sonority from anything I'd touched before, and it was a welcome challenge at the time, and something I do not regret taking up at all. It's been amazing.
Brilliant. So I think you're actually going to give us a flavour of the oud now. If you'd like to introduce it.
Yes, this is Flying Bird by Umar Bashir.
Okay, over to you. you very much. I'll just give you a minute just to put your oud down. Fabulous. So another musical interest of yours is songwriting. And I know that you've recently released an EP, which I think is your first one, on YouTube.
Yeah.
How did you get into that? And dare I ask, what styles of song have you been looking into?
As long as I can remember, going back to my earliest memories, the only thing I've ever really wanted to be is a songwriter. And obviously through my musical journey, the classical instruments have come in, and that aspect of performance is always going to be with me. But it's still my dream today, recording, writing, performing, and to be able to work with people and to have these ideas that I'm having now is really excellent. You know, the EP we put out proudly proclaims in the description instrumental sludge metal from the UK by way of the UAE. But what we're doing at the minute, we didn't set out to create something heavy. It was what we felt at the time. It was what we wanted to express creatively, and what we're working on now, a variety of projects, ranges from soft rock to blues to the same sort of thing again. It just depends on what we want to create and express at the time.
Okay. So with all of that, how on earth do you manage your time with your music and with your other academic studies? And are there any tips that you can share with us?
The only thing I can really say is to try and integrate it into your daily routine bit by bit over the course of time, because in both phases, if you like, of my career, I was either too young to really consider a routine, or it's just been so integrated into what I do in a day that it's alongside studying. And if I don't get time for a break or anything, well, I've done all my music and it's relaxing at this stage. But the only thing I can say is try and, bit by bit, so start with half an hour, but to really drive it in and make it easy to manage time later on, so you don't have to think about it. It's to just integrate it bit by bit into your day-to-day routine.
Okay, and what about practicing? Because you've got to fit that in somehow as well. Has your practice style changed over the years, and if so, in what way? And again, what advice would you give to our younger students in terms of managing their music practice?
Yeah, practicing is really difficult, because the main thing you want from music, especially as a very young musician starting out, is that instant satisfaction. You want to be able to play the piece, but you don't necessarily want to spend all the time working on the technique. And also, progressing in a musical journey, it's difficult to know how to practice even now. As I say, just try and integrate it into your day, and going further in, something I don't even do enough of today, even though as I've matured, my practice has gotten much more solid, much more routine, and I'm working on the right things. I don't do enough warm-ups and exercises, and that is the most important thing. It seems tedious while you're doing it, but in terms of wanting that satisfaction quicker, the things that help you practice solely the technique or solely the feel of something helps you attain it much quicker. So it's tedious to do, and it's teachers, musicians, everyone will chew your ear off about it, but it's really important to get those warm-ups in, because it is so important, and it pays off not even in the long run, but within a month there'll be a huge improvement.
Brilliant, thanks Will. Okay, I think we're now going to listen to your performance that was recently recorded for Weinmog 2021, which is of your piano, or
Yes.
playing on the piano, and it's Grieg's Nocturne.
Yes.
Thank you very much. So, you studied music at GCSE. You ummed and ahed about studying music at A-level,
Yeah.
and it took you a while to see the light before you did actually sign up for the A-level course. So what would your advice be for any students thinking about studying music at GCSE, music at A-level, or indeed the new BTEC music production that we're looking to introduce in September?
My advice is that if you're thinking about doing it, do it. It is such a unique experience. Obviously, you have your academic, you have your sport, and you have your music, and that's for a reason. It's because music isn't like anything else. The closest thing is maybe doing a language in providing such a different learning experience about something that you'll keep with you for the rest of your life. GCSE and A-level, as I've said, has really opened up my perception of how to listen. It's really helped with composition. I wouldn't be able to look into songwriting or look into composition like I do today if I hadn't have picked up those techniques from GCSE and A-level. And in terms of the BTEC, that's an amazing skill for anyone looking to go into music or engineering or anything. It's a fantastic opportunity, and even if it isn't necessarily what you'll be doing, it's such a valuable skill to have that it gives you that experience, and it gives you like management, working with electronics and computers of any kind is essential these days. And yeah, if you're thinking about doing music, I can't stress this enough, do it, it is worth it, and it is so enjoyable. My GCSE class still reminisce about the GCSE and the experience and the banter that we had, but we still remember all the learning that we did. We still talk about, the Brandenburg concertos, and it's not as boring as you'd think.
I'll pay you later, Will. Okay, so you've done GCSE, you've done A-level, or you're finishing off your A-level, but you've applied for physics at university. Simple question, why not music?
University as an experience of learning something for the 3, 4, 5 years, whatever it is something I want to do, and the thing I feel I need guidance on next in terms of my learning is physics, because it is a dual passion that I have along with music. But music isn't going to go away, and I feel it works out for me because the next step in my musical journey that we've discussed is, I think, best to have a period of self-exploration and just really exploring any avenues that are open to me individually, taking whatever opportunities are put in front of me. And as I say, it's not going to go away. I'm depending on how music as a career is going parallel to the physics degree. I may even end up doing a postgrad in music performance at a conservatory or something. I'm not going to stop practicing. I'm not going to stop thinking about developing as a musician. It's just another skill to supplement my learning, and it'll be beneficial in the long run to have the knowledge of something else and to have treated music slightly differently for a period of time.
Absolutely. Okay, folks, so we are going to take another pause and have a listen to Will's recorded guitar piece. Would you like to introduce it?
Yes, this is the piece I performed in the second round. This is Recuerdos de la Alhambra by Francisco Tárrega, one of the most influential, most well-known classical guitar composers.
Wonderful, Will. Thank you. You've worked with a good number of the instrumental teachers here at BSAC over the past 5 years. What impact would you say they have had on you?
I can't remember. I don't think there's one that I haven't worked with over the years, and that's not just because I've had tuition in 3 instruments. The whole department gets involved with the musical education of every single instrumental student, and the team mindset and the combination of strengths and personality traits really provides a holistic music education, and the lessons that I've been taught both musically and indeed personally by this department, embracing my growth as a musician has been really valuable, and it's the same for every single member of the BSAC music community.
Yeah, I do remember you doing your work experience and coming into one of our department meetings, and I think that was probably quite an interesting eye-opener for you.
Yeah.
Okay, our last question then. Imagine you're stranded on a desert island.
Okay.
Okay. If you were allowed to have only one of your instruments, which one would it be and why?
This is an answer that nobody's going to be happy with, because it's this guy right here. And the reason for this is because the environment in which the oud as an instrument is created and that style of music was created is more than any other instrument, I feel creating something out of nothing. My first instinct when I pick up the oud is not to play a classic piece that I love playing that's helped me grow as a musician. It's to noodle in whatever maqam I feel and to come up with something really moving and really groovy, because it does have the capacity to make any sounds. It can be heavy, it can be melancholic, and as you say desert island, it fits the mood in that kind of thing. If I want to make something out of nothing, this is what I turn to. If I want to make beautiful noises, I'd go on the piano. If I want to do something really technically proficient, or play a piece that's really heartening, or if I want to visit Spain in my mind, then I turn to the guitar. It just depends on the scenario. But for one instrument and having to spend time creating something, it's the oud.
Okay, wonderful. Thanks ever so much, Will. I've really enjoyed talking to you today and getting your insight. It's absolutely fascinating.
Thanks for having me.
And I would just say a huge thank you for your huge musical contribution over the past 5 years at PSAC, and we will miss you when you leave.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
Good. So, to play us out, we're going to use your semi-final recording from this year's WIMOG. Would you like to introduce it?
Yes, this is Cielo Abierto, an Argentinian piece by the composer Quique Senesi.